The joy of money, how a holistic approach to money lifts your spirit, heals your past, and what was my third thing? Blesses the world. So it's Reverend Karen Russo, and I'm doing a little bit of an overview about the Big Sky Retreat. I'm doing two sessions there, and one of them is focused on money as a vehicle for divine expression. And I'm organized to the theme of joy expressing that Big Sky is all about this year. And I'm mostly doing this conversation right now to give you a little bit of a sense of when I say a holistic approach, what I mean by that and why it might be relevant to you. So one of the things that I notice about spiritually oriented seekers is that we'll often get it that we are human beings having an expression of the divine. And yet, if there's stuff about money, whether it's upset or overwhelmed, or even a little bit of doubt or feeling of victimization or even concern about other people, if there's any of that going on, it's a squelch to the spirit, a drain of the energy, and frankly, we don't make the best financial decisions. So that's what really called me to have a conversation and to be in a practice for the last 11 years around what I call the money keys. And my ministry out in the world, including our spiritual centers and beyond, is to make the connection between our desire to be financially excellent and generous and flowing and profitable and expressed, and what it means to be a spiritually fulfilled individual. So I use a tool that I want to introduce to you, and I want to give you a little bit of the backstory of where it came from. So I'm going to show you this slide, which is the money map. So you should probably still see me up in the corner as you look at this image, which is, you can see across the top, it says, what's the money for? What is your money purpose? And then that's you, the little stick figure in the center, and you could put some cute shoes or a better hairstyle on that little being there in the center. And then what you'll see is the tension between what's so, which are the facts and circumstances that you're dealing with in your money life, and the dream, the what's possible now, what's your big idea for financial expression. And then you'll see three areas, little cloud areas: spirituality, which is your relationship to the transcendent about money; beliefs, which is thought, emotion, and conversation held in place by repetition and intensity. That's what our beliefs are. And then habits, and that's your actions, behaviors, systems, and information flows with money. So those three areas are what I call the holistic approach: spirituality, beliefs, and habits. And here I come back. How did that model emerge? Well, for those of you that know the Science of Mind and Spirit teaching, Dr. Ernest Holmes, where's my Science of Mind book up there in the corner? I am an ordained religious science minister. I did all of my training at the Agape Center in Los Angeles. And if you think about the Science of Mind teaching symbol, spirit, soul, body, one of the things I was asking is, how does that technology, that way of expressing divinity, patterns of belief acted upon by law, and then the body of experiences. So that's one of the inspirations for spirituality, beliefs, and habits. The other thing that I was inspired by is this. I'm going to give you a little bit of where it came from. So remember back, it's like 2004, 2005. We were all back then at the spiritual centers. I would go to the spiritual centers, and everybody was really interested in abundance and the qualities of prosperity and opulence and affluence. And the big thing I would hear when I would go to the spiritual centers is, abundance is so much more than money. So people were really in the idea of the consciousness, the spiritual idea of the divine, the givingness of God. So that's the spirituality. And of course, at the New Thought spiritual centers, at the Unity and religious science, divine science, those kind of spiritual centers, people understand that consciousness creates experience. It is done unto you as you believe. So the idea of belief being important to entrain our belief, have a spiritual mind treatment, would create a new experience. So people were strong on spirituality and beliefs, but where was there a little weakness? Or I'll say a little lack of attention. That was the area of habits. So maybe it was just the places I went, or maybe you noticed that too. But what you'll see is that the spiritual folks would have spiritual inspiration, consciousness, but be very weak on consistent, productive, predictable behaviors that move you toward expressing financial well-being. And so I would really see habits needed to be shored up. And then 2004, 2005, we were all going to be millionaires. Remember, we would go to those big conference rooms. There'd be 1,000 people. You've got a millionaire mind. High five. And everybody's going to do tax liens in the middle of the night and buy some real estate and maybe have 2 or 3 direct marketing businesses. And there was all this habits, strategies, and tactics, very strong on that piece, your jars and your plan and your this and your that. And then mindset. Rich people think this way. Poor people think this way. Who doesn't want to have a rich mindset? So really strong on mindset. But where was it a little weak? Oh, yeah. The sense of I'm going to surrender to a divinity greater than I am and into the mystery of the circumstances are nothing, and there's only a reality of the oneness of God. Little light on that, little light on the spiritual surrendered piece. And so what I saw is the spiritual folks, big exaggeration here, but go with me, that the spiritual folks were missing the excellence of manifesting habits, and the wealth building people were missing the surrender and the awe of connection to divinity. So that's how I created the money map with all 3 areas. What does it mean to have a conscious spiritual connection to the divine, to have a sense of beliefs and patterns of thinking that really affirm the freedom that I desire? And what does it mean to have productive, consistent habits that get me into circulation and vitality? So that is your money map. And I'm excited because at Big Sky Retreat, I'll be sharing that framework with you, and you'll get to decide which area is mine most strong, where do I want to grow, and I'll be equipping you, of course, with the 3 money keys, the spiritual principles, and then some practical tools so you move forward to create what you desire. I look forward to seeing you at Big Sky. I think it's going to be a wonderful retreat, and I'll be sharing the money map with you.